Does it ever feel as if humans are excessively judgmental, especially about other people that we know virtually nothing about? Well, our brains add perceptual filters onto our worldview, meaning that some of us are wearing halos and others are wearing horns. Hey, get out of here. As if.
The first election I was old enough to vote in was for the California state governor back in 2003, when Gray Davis was being recalled, and all manner of Hollywood figures were jumping into the race, including my favorite action star, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
This is happening. This is really happening.
It was like a scene right out of the movies. Arnold was the answer to any precarious situation you could imagine. From self-aware killer robots, to invisible aliens, to undisciplined children, and even disrespectful camels. Arnold had the looks, he had the muscles, and he always had the right thing to say.
Come with me if you want to live.
I voted for Arnold because in my mind he could do no wrong, and in doing so, fell victim to a cognitive bias known as the halo effect.
Halo effect, the tendency for an impression created in one area to influence opinion in another area.
The term was first coined in the 1920s by psychologist Edward Thorndike, who noticed that military officers asked to rate their soldiers on a variety of different aspects like physique, intellect, leadership, and loyalty, tended to give them similar marks across the board rather than see them as the complex mixture of both positive and negative aspects that they actually were. And when he looked at other evaluations, he noticed the same pattern. When soldiers rated their officers, when employers rated their employees, when department heads rated their teachers. Everyone, it seemed, had, quote,
a tendency to think of the person in general as rather good or rather inferior, and to color the judgments of the qualities by this general feeling.
Pop quiz, hotshot.
Are human beings capable of withholding judgment?
Do we first study our subjects carefully, in a variety of natural environments, as Sir David Attenborough studies the Australian thorny devil lizard?
No, not really. As soon as we gather any information, our brains automatically start to fill in the blanks so that we can make predictions.
Just like we automatically see this square with a few bits of evidence, we automatically see individuals as the stereotype that best fits our current evidence. This makes quick action possible, and the most simplistic and actionable classification that we can make is between good and bad people, between our friends and our enemies.
It's like the Instagram filters of your brain. Good impressions turn people into angels, while bad ones turn them into demons, which is why the dark side is sometimes called the horns effect.
When we meet someone in person, before we know anything about their politics or personal philosophy, we know something about their physical appearance. And we subconsciously ask ourselves, do I like what I see? And answering that question biases our judgment about every other aspect of their behavior.
For example, in one study called Beauty is Talent, researchers gave 60 college males an essay to grade. When they attached photos of an attractive female author, the average scores increased. And when they attached an unattractive photo, they decreased. Another group of researchers found that they could even predict election results just by asking people to judge how competent the candidates appeared after seeing their face for the first time for a mere 100 milliseconds.
Not only is that unfair, but it also means that we are less critical of the ideas and information that we receive from people that we like, which is a problem when the people that we like are not exactly qualified to give it.
Why are celebrities so influential? Why do we care what kind of shoes they wear or what kind of cereal they eat?
Why does Pepsi continue to pay millions of dollars to have sexy singers chug gallons of oversweetened cola on camera?
When we admire Hollywood actors for their exceptional talent and success, we also fill in the blank about other unknown variables, including how smart, honest, and credible we think they are, meaning we're more likely to believe their views about religion, health, or vaccines. On the other hand, if you have an extremely negative reaction to ideas like Scientology, vaginal eggs, or autism-causing vaccines, you'll likely believe they are less honest, smart, and talented than they actually are.
Talent does not make us angels, and bad ideas do not make us demons. It just makes us all human. So what can we do to guard against this universal bias? In order to make better judgments about people, we need to start eliminating the irrelevant information that leads us astray. For example, some teachers are starting to grade their student papers anonymously. And in the talent show The Masked Singer,
by hiding the contestants' identities behind elaborate costumes, it allows the judges and the audience to focus on the one variable that really matters: their voice.
Do our elections ever feel like a glorified talent show, where our winners are selected based on irrelevant factors like their gender, ethnicity, wealth, or name recognition?
Here's a crazy idea. What would happen if we removed people's faces from our elections? Why not try holding anonymous elections where we disguise our candidates' identities behind, what the hell, Arnold Schwarzenegger masks, and use voice filters to make them all sound like David Attenborough, so that we could all focus on what really counts: their credentials, the quality of their ideas, and their ability to communicate effectively.
There is no escaping from the halo effect. It's a universal strategy our brains employ in order to manage complexity. But we cannot continue to oversimplify one another. The world isn't black and white. Life isn't the eternal struggle between good and evil. There are no angels or demons apart from the ones that we create in our minds. It's time to put them to rest with all of the other myths that we have outgrown. So make sure to subscribe and share this video, because knowing is half of the battle. And I'll see you next time on The Joy of Thinking. Really?
Kind of a requirement reality show before you even get to run for president.
Run for president.